Zombie ice is taking over Greenland, and it's going to have devastating consequences for the rest of the world. A new study is warning 3.3% of the country's ice sheet is effectively existing on borrowed time. This might not sound like it means anything to you directly, but it is going to cause sea levels to rise more than double previous estimates. Joining us now is glaciologist with the Geological Survey of Denmark and Greenland, William Colgan. Welcome to your morning.
Thanks for having me, Anne-Marie, and sharing some insight on the Greenland ice sheet.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing your insights. First of all, we've heard of murder wasps here in Canada, but what is zombie ice?
So what's being called zombie ice is this ice that is committed to sea level rise that's currently in the Greenland ice sheet, but we know that it's out of equilibrium with today's climate, so it will eventually be lost from the Greenland ice sheet. We call it ice with 1 foot in the grave, meaning that it's on its way to being in the ocean. And I think some clever editors took that one step further and called it zombie ice. And there we have it.
Well, your research found that this zombie ice, as they've called it, could contribute to sea level rise of 27 centimeters. It's also disrupting Greenland's gravitational field. So what effect does that have on the world? These are all big terms, but what does that actually mean?
Sure. So firstly, it may contribute 27, but it will contribute 27 centimeters of sea level rise sometime over the next century or longer. So that's what we mean by committed. It's on its way. We're on the hook for it. It's our sea level debt accumulated over the last century of climate change. What does it mean? It means a lot of different things depending where you are. Close to Greenland, it means that, yes, Greenland is losing so much ice and its gravity is weakening so much that the sea level will fall around Greenland. People farthest away from Greenland will feel this disproportionately more than the people close to Greenland. Places like the equatorial West Pacific, sea level has been rising there at about 2 to 3 times the global average over the last 30 years, and we expect it to do so into the future.
How would we see its effects here in Canada?
In Canada, the effect of sea level rise from the Greenland ice sheet would be felt most strongly on the west coast and the Vancouver area. But there's a lot of local scale processes you have to be concerned about. For example, in and around Vancouver, you have some subsidence of the local land. So you have a vertical land motion where the land is going down as sea level is rising up, and that can compound the problem, perhaps even more so than the Greenland ice sheet.
What is the options that we have? We can't reverse this, as you've said, because this is our debt that we are now paying. But what can we do to offset it, or what do we need to be planning for?
Boy, that's the million-dollar question. Or I guess when it comes to global sea level rise, that the multi-trillion-dollar question is, how do we handle this? Looking ahead, I think the first thing we can do is harm reduction and try to reduce further climate change and further committed ice loss from Greenland and the Antarctic ice sheet and the thermal expansion of sea level. So slowing down climate change today will really help that. Then in terms of adapting, I think the idea is to adapt early and prepare for sea levels to rise considerably over the next century. Don't wait for the big storm surge events to get your preparations in place. Ideally have a good coastal hardening plan in place by mid-century.
What is a coastal hardening plan?
So that's where you want to hold the line in an urban area. And holding the line means you want to keep today's coast going into the future. And that's different than, for example, managed retreat or even unmanaged retreat in a rural area where you might just let the coastline migrate inland as the sea level rises. So in the urban areas, we definitely need the hold the line coastal hardening approaches, and they take a while to implement. So you need to get started on them early.
This is a fascinating topic, and I'm so glad to speak with you about it today. Thanks so much, William.
Thanks so much for having me, Anne-Marie.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.